Welcome to Ole Walls' house. It's me, it's your man, it's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode 180. Just want to say thank you to everybody first off. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for checking us out. If you guys could, please rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check out my guy, MJ, over at the Full Range Podcast. You can find him on Spotify at the Full Range Podcast, and you can find him on the Ole Walls' house YouTube channel. Got a U.S. Open recap coming. Fair warning, there were some technical difficulties. I had some trouble on my end. We got it rolling and got it together mostly. There's probably going to be a weird part where it cuts in and out. But all in all, it's still pretty good. It just, for a couple seconds, it's a little choppy. Probably like 15 minutes in, but you'll get through it. So it'll be fun. Waiter and Slano are here with me, so let's dive into that. Ladies and gentlemen, the boys are back. Mr. Waiter, Mr. Slanovic, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you, Jordan? How are you doing today?
Well, some technical difficulties here have led me to have to do this off my phone, so not ideal. I'm kind of under the gun to get this in here tonight, so I've been better, but I'm here with you fine gentlemen, so how much worse could I be?
That's a great point.
Jeffy, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. A little tired. Long work weekend. Voice a little raspy. Had to have some conversations over the band a couple times over the weekend. So got home just in time to be able to catch the whole final round here today and come on and talk about
it. I think you're burying the lead that you're trying to resign from the fantasy golf side bet as well.
No, I'm not trying. I have. That's been confirmed. I will follow my contract and see the rest of this year out. I don't need to get into any disputes about the mid-season dropout, but it's been nice participating with everybody. But we're going to focus our time, effort, and energy on the season-long big pot for next year.
Oh, you're one of a kind, Jeff. You're one of a kind. Gentlemen, we just had ourselves a hell of a U.S. Open. Noticeably absent here today is one Mr. Eric Apple, who has decided to pull a Rory McIlroy and exclude himself from speaking to the media at the moment. He stated in the group chat that he was refusing to acknowledge us after JJ Spaun barrels in a putt on the 18th to keep the U.S. Open winner under par, and has decided to just avoid us altogether. So, Eric, we're thinking of you. We hope you'd make some better choices moving forward, but we'll trudge on without you. So boys, initial thoughts. JJ Spaun grinds one out today.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was grinding that thing out. I don't know. I think they said at one point towards the end of that telecast, like trying to figure out, is it the course? Was it the conditions, like the weather, and combination of everyone playing bad? But it just seemed like all at the same time. Everyone who had a chance was making bogeys left and right. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure that those guys at that point were just absolutely in grind mode, but no one seemed to get anything going there.
Yeah, we came out of the rain delay, and right before the rain delay, Jeff, you said something that at the time looked very true, that we were headed for what could possibly be a kind of boring, rest of the day. And then we came out of the rain delay, and it was anything but. I forget exactly what you said, but it was something to the effect of Burns is out a little too far. Unless he does something really bad and starts coming back, that's what we're going to get. No one's close enough to chase him. And then, boy, oh boy, did Mr. Burns just kind of hit the wall coming home. Shot a back 940 on top of his front 938. So it got real interesting real quick.
And the winner shot a front 940.
Bogey 5 of the first 6.
And
an awful break on the second hole.
Yeah, awful break on the second hole, but that's golf. stuff like that happens. The golf gods obviously work in mysterious ways. I can't imagine there's too many U.S. Open champs who finished birdie
I
like
think
he
it's like
did.
5 people have done it in the U.S.
Yeah,
Open. I think I heard
it
him say.
can't be very many. Obviously got a good little help from Victor's putt on the 18th there, but I mean, it was a golf course that I'm sure we'll get into talking about. I didn't get to see quite as much as you fellas did, but I mean, if you didn't hit the fairway, you really didn't even have a prayers chance for much of the day today at least, and then much of the weekend when I was kind of diving in and out at different times. But credit to JJ, he stepped up on 18 and 17 for what it's worth. Hit it right down the middle.
This is Jeff's flu game right now. Yeah, I mean, the shot on 17, if we're just going to kind of work our way back, obviously the putt was incredible. He only needed the 2 putt, but go out in style, why not? But the shot on 17, like things were happening. Bob McIntyre had posted. Jeff, you just sent a text. Was looking to win his 3rd National Open in the last year, essentially. He posted one, was looking good. Your boy Tyrrell Hatton just completely collapses on 17. Maybe tries I don't know if he could have done something different there and been a little less aggressive, maybe. But he ends up making. Did he make bogey or double there?
He made bogey.
He made bogey and then made bogey again on 18, right?
He got up and down to make bogey.
Yes. Okay.
And
Thank you.
up and up and up and down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sam Burns and Scott were imploding back there. Victor Hovland felt like he was just kind of stuck in neutral after he made a bogey on 15. And it just, everything was looking like, man, the tournament's going to come down to the 17th hole for JJ Spaun. You got to go make a birdie. Because if you have to go try and make birdie on 18, I mean, granted, he did it anyway. But, like, if that's your hole where you got to go make the birdie, that doesn't seem very likely. And hits the drive of his life, man. Just looked good from the start. Ripped it right up by the pin. Probably had, I would guess, 15-ish feet. Let's see if I can pull it up on the shot tracer here.
22 and a half.
Pretty good guess, Waiter. 21 feet, 7 inches.
On which hole?
On 17.
17.
I'm showing 17 feet.
Sorry, he hit his putt 21 feet, 7 inches. My apologies. I was reading the wrong line. Yep, 17 feet. So just absolutely incredible. And like we said, the guy was off to the worst start. Bogey's the first 3. Par's the par 5 fourth. Bogey's 5 and 6. And then, comes out of the rain delay. He came out right after on 12, right? They had stopped. He was probably on 9-ish when the rain delay happened.
Yeah.
Because Sam Burns was on 8.
He would have been on 9T or in 9 fairway because we came out of the rain delay and Hatton was in the bunker on 9.
Yeah, just absolutely crazy. Where do you guys want to go from here? Sorry, my notes are on my phone, so a little bit of my guiding us along here is going to be tough for me tonight.
Before we go to whatever, I want to go 17 again. Did you guys have trouble too when they were hitting it off the tee, having any idea if it was good or not? Like I had no idea until whoever the commentator was like, "Yep, that one's right at the green." I had no clue if they were left, right, or right at it.
It took me a while.
You can go, All.
It took me a while. The first 5 groups that went through there, I'm like, I don't know. But then I saw a couple of good ones, and then faintly you could kind of see the bunker out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually, by the time JJ Spaun got to that hole, I was like, oh, I actually kind of know where the hole is. It was like, I can't believe they didn't just drop one of the little things here's the hole, just a little graphic.
I was just going to say that they do they've brought out legitimate goalposts in other U.S. Opens. Maybe that was when Fox had it. Before it came back to NBC. But it took a number of, I guess that hole's kind of a dog leg if you play it out into the fairway, but if you go for the green, it's not. So it was weird seeing that the cameras were all centered to the fairway and these guys needed to hit it to the upper left corner of your television screen if they were going for the green. But once
which
he hit,
everybody did all week.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, I struggled on that for a long time. I just happened to get lucky a couple times and be like, oh, that was a good one. I kind of remembered where the line was before. Um, what else, boys? I mean, Robert McIntyre kind of. I mean, they started showing him what on about his ninth hole. He made birdie on 9, and then all of a sudden he was all over the screen. Cyril Hatton just hanging around, hanging around. I mean, he was even par going into 17, looking like he had a real legitimate chance.
I guess
Meanwhile,
well, I'll stop you there. We can talk about 17 with Hatton because I said something in there, and obviously it impacted me. But golf course on 17, it just seems it's hard for me to fathom that someone could drive the ball greenside on a par 4 in what would every other week be a really good spot, like on the upslope between the bunker and the green, and hit 2 golf shots and not be able to advance the ball to the green. Seems very questionable
But
in
you got to
terms
think
of.
about the whole setup. Like
Well,
they, like they were how the rest of the course was set up. If they knew, which I'm sure they kind of anticipated, that most guys were going to give it a rip. If they were going to have any defense in that hole, it was going to be making the rough around the green like it was. And then maybe entice some guys to lay it back, because if you were anywhere not on the green or in the bunker, you were pretty screwed.
and I get
and
that,
Hatton was on the downslope with his first chip shot. Yeah, he was on like the downslope coming into the bunker, and then left the second one on the upslope, and then kind of chunked that one.
so I might have missed that. So I apologize. I take back
Yeah,
what I said to an extent.
no, but I mean,
Because then you get what you deserve to an extent for being in that spot.
it was tough though. Like you're not completely wrong. Like all around that green was nasty, as was much of the rough. I mean, you didn't see a lot of guys hit a lot of great wedge shots out of the shit around the green. Like there were some, obviously, but like it wasn't like it wasn't like a PGA Tour event, obviously, where like, hey, you just bang it around the green and the rough's high enough to catch it so it doesn't go too far, and you wedge one out there, and you've got yourself a 6-footer to make.
Right.
Hovland had 2 really good up and downs on that hole.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. The other thing I guess I would add about just Oakmont and chipping and green complexes and whatnot, it felt like it was at times, probably because we don't see Oakmont very often and probably because of how many chip shots we saw, given how many missed greens there were and whatnot. There's so many weird green complex traits at Oakmont where the balls are going to break different directions than you're used to watching in a golf tournament every week. Where it feels like, oh, someone misses the green, this putt's going to break from the back of the green to the front, or this chip's going to break from the back of the green to the front of the green. Or they miss the green long and you're like, okay, they're dead. This is going to run away from the hole. But at Oakmont, it might be a chip from the back of the green that is straight up the hill, right? Which is still fast because it's Oakmont. But it was hard sometimes to figure out when guys missed the green whether they were in trouble or not, because you just don't know Oakmont, and those green complexes have so many weird runoffs in the middle, and you were watching balls roll 80, 90, 100 feet, depending on the first bounce and whatnot. It was, I'm sure they know all that information, but watching it was a little bit trickier than usual.
It felt like we could have benefited from like a graphic again from NBC, like put something like on the greens, like every once in a while, like, hey, here's where like the putts break, and like this, do the arrow thing, like this is an accelerated big hill, big break here. It felt like, and Oakmont's got a little bit of this quality, because this was another thing I jotted down in my notes. It was better on the weekend when you saw, group after group going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right in order.
Right.
But like when you're watching Thursday, Friday, it's a little tough to get your bearings at Oakmont because no trees. A lot of the holes kind of have a similar look to them. All the greens are wild, so like it is a little tough at a place that you don't go to. Once every 9 years has pretty much been the trend right now, to like have a good understanding. It's like you go to Augusta, it's like we know every hole on that course. Like, oh, you hit it there, dead. Like you're above the pin on 9 trying to chip down, like dead. So it's tough, and it got better as the weekend went on just because you became more familiar with it. But yeah, it felt like there could have been some more graphics or things to kind of like highlight a little bit of like, here's where trouble is. This is a bad spot. And it was tough at times to kind of to grasp all that.
I saw someone tweet about how for an event like Oakmont, the drones actually do a poor job of showcasing the golf course because the higher up the drone gets and the more aerial shots you get, the flatter everything feels. And you're much better suited, like seeing them, like, oh my gosh, look at how far below the surface he is chipping from 40 yards because the ball ran off, than when you watch it from above where the entire green feels flat and you don't get any sort of impression of what the contours of the greens are and the shots that they have coming in. And it's our show now, Matt.
That's it. We finally got what we wanted, Jeff. I do agree with you there, because there were certain instances where you would see, if they had the camera, the guy on the course, like behind somebody in a bunker, where you're almost looking up at them, and you can tell that they can't see the flag stick and how deep below the.
We just got a 5-second countdown. I'm not sure what until. We're both still here, so nothing too bad happened.
Yeah, who knows?
But
man.
yeah, it was interesting to watch. I mean, Hatton on both the par threes really hit golf shots. And did he birdie both? No, he missed the putt on the earlier par 3.
He missed it on 16 too.
Lows.
He like ran it over the edge or something.
I'm sorry, he made the one on 13, missed the one on 16. 13 was the one that was a little bit shorter that he actually spun it back to like 4 feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was everything that I think we all ask a U.S. Open to be. Varying course conditions, weather that's changing every day, let alone every hour, it felt like. And the ultimate test of endurance. I think the question that we probably were going to get to at some point on here, now that it's good to see Jordan back with a side view.
We're trying everything, boys.
Is this the proper way to determine the best golfer of the 4 days? Was the test that we just all watched for 4 days that? Was JJ Spaun the best player for those 4 days? Seemed really, really good for a lot of it.
Yeah, 100%. Don't worry, Jordan. We didn't talk too much shit about you while you were gone.
If you need to, you do what you have to. We're dealing with some things here tonight. Really, really on the struggle bus. So I may have even stopped the recording through there. We may have lost whatever was said when I wasn't here. I have no idea what's going on tonight.
Too.
So I'm sorry. I've really had a rough go of it tonight. You guys were talking about was JJ Spaun identified as the best golfer? Is that what was said?
We kind of got to that in a roundabout way, talking about Matthew proposed the question of, if the weather had not come the way that it came on the weekend, would that have positively or negatively impacted scoring to get us a leaderboard that was all over par up until the final half hour of the broadcast?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I mean, I think that leads into the other question, is that this place was soaked to begin with, too. Like, what if this place wasn't soaked? Like, what if it was just even a little bit firm the whole weekend? Like, that's a whole other question. Like, those questions, I think, are fascinating.
And the other thing, too, is, Jeff, we were talking about, like, the distance playing a factor and hitting fairways and stuff. But if those fairways are firm, they were talking about how undulated they were balls that may have actually stuck in the fairway this weekend would have ran off into the rough anyway.
Oh, yeah, there were some wild rollouts that I had caught earlier in the tournament.
Yeah.
Specifically on the par 5s, it felt like. And then
12 early in the week,
I think 12 early in the week, when they had that pin that was you couldn't tell if it was like 2 or 3 paces on, but it also looked like it was like in the middle of a green because of how the run-up area kind of looked like a green, and you couldn't really tell the difference, and that's why guys were the ball. I think Bryson hit it like 390, or Rory hit it 390 the one time, and he hit it. I don't know. He had like 212 in. He had to land it 40 yards short, and it still rolled 40 feet past to that front pin. A different 640-yard hole than I'm used to watching.
Yeah, it might have been that hole when I heard them talking, like you had to land it up on like the left hill of the fairway. I think it was that hole.
Yeah, because when they put that pin on 12 all the way in the back right, like if you landed at anything to the right, it just ran off the green. You had to land it over on the, it would have been, they had the camera behind the green, so it would have been the right on the screen, but you had to land it over on that side so that it could funnel itself back in. I mean, I think the weather played a factor with the wetness over the last couple days. And the fairways became easier to hit. But when you did miss a fairway because the rough was so thick, and then when it did get wet, it felt like it was a different equation Thursday, Friday out of the rough versus the weekend. Like Thursday, Friday, it felt like there was still some chance to advance the ball at the green. Whereas by today, especially post-rain delay, like you hit it in the rough, you were just coming out, not completely sideways, but pretty darn close in some spots.
Yeah, there were some guys who did. What do you think Sam Burns thought about the wetness in the fairways?
Not pleased.
What do you guys think of that? Do you think that was the right? Like, I don't know the rules good enough, I guess, but man, when they show him like standing about where his ball is,
did you guys see? I think I sent it to you the Kyle Porter tweet when he went and stood there and like was pushing his foot around. I thought I heard somebody on the broadcast say something about like it has to impact your stance as well.
Yeah, that's what. So I didn't catch it live. I texted you guys because I was out watching it. But apparently, where he was actually standing was not that, and that it has nothing. Your ball could be in the fairway, submerged in water, I guess. But if your feet are fine, you're just screwed.
Which seems, I mean, if that's the rule, I mean, I guess it's the rule, right? Like, you don't get to just pick and choose, but like, if that's the rule, it's dumb.
Seems like a dumb rule.
Like, every time they showed him taking a practice swing, like, you could just see the water. And, like, when the ball landed, there was a visible splash that came up. And I said it, and I remember saying this specifically because I said to the roommate, I was like, oh, that's casual water. And she's like, what is casual water? I'm like, well, he's following the ball splash. Like, there's water around the ball. He's going to get to move the ball. And so, like, when I heard him say, like, oh, they've denied the casual water drop, I was like, wait, what? And then I heard something about, like, the feet, which is, I guess I didn't know that. I was always just under the, assumption that if your ball is impacted by standing casual water that's not supposed to be there, you get you get relief. So maybe I need to go back and, disqualify myself from some tournaments.
Well, he didn't believe the first rules official because he asked for a second.
What I struggle to understand how like that can happen. I guess it's because that this fairway was sloped so severe that the water runs off the fairway, so it was gathering in the first cut where the ball was, right? And it was, but it's hard to believe that could ever be the case because a lot of times you see in those instances when the rules official comes over, they'll say, oh, it's not actually casual water because if you just take your stance and don't try to like push your feet into the ground to make water come up, that like you don't get relief from that. But you never see a ruling like that. And I guess if it's a rule, it's a rule. I'm not here to say that he should have been given relief if that's the way the rule's written, but maybe it's time to take a look at how that one's written.
That was that on 11? No, that was 15.
That was on 15.
He made double there, didn't he?
I mean, he made 2 doubles on the back 9, so he finished at, what did he finish at? +4, and he finished double, bogey, birdie, bogey. So, I mean, he still would have, he was running pretty hot after that, but it no doubt affected him.
He chunked the next chip.
Yeah, it was.
He compounded the errors.
Yes. He took a bad ruling that did not go his way, and probably let it get to him, more than he should have. I mean, that's easy for us to sit here and say, but because I mean, we've all been in those moments where you're like, "What the fuck? This is bullshit." Like, I should get that relief, and it's tough. It's tough to center yourself back after that, but there's a reason that some guys do it and they're successful and it shows. First, the guy who, unfortunately for Sam Burns, is the guy who couldn't keep it together for that little stretch.
So somewhat unrelated question about Burns. What do we make of the fact that it felt like the entire back nine after the delay, every iron shot he hit into the green seemed like it was going exactly where he wanted and was almost always a club or a club and a half short. And nobody else seemed to have that issue gauging distance, maybe gauging spin, but not gauging distance. And the amount of times that I watched Sam Burns, whether it was into 11, I got the shot trackers pulled up here, into 11, into 13, into 16.
16, he was miffed.
It looked great.
And they were right on line.
Yep. He could not believe that was short.
Just weather, the change in temperature,
I mean,
got him, or
you'd have to think he wasn't peering it too. Like
his reactions made you think like he was hitting the exact shot he wanted, and he wasn't even like everybody else was throwing darts in terms of like trying to attack the pin, and if they missed it left, okay, but it was stopping 35 feet left. Like he was trying to throw darts and just completely a club and a half off every time.
The one on 16 was crazy because I was like, oh man, he might have stiffed it. Like,
which would have been an incredible bounce back.
Yeah, and it came up. That pole was playing 244. He hit it 212.
Not going to get it done.
Like, there's no way he actually hit that how he wanted, right? Like, probably 4-iron. That's what most of the guys were hitting there. And, Tour Pro hits 4-iron, 230-ish probably nowadays.
Yeah, Hatton hit it, what was he, 10 feet by it? They said he hit 4-iron.
Because I was shocked. I don't know why, because I felt like I'd seen some guys hit some, hybrids or even like, if they've got like a 7-wood in the bag. I thought I'd seen more of that. And then when like Hatton stepped up and they're like, oh, he's got 4-iron. I'm like, that's a lot of a 4-iron for 244. And he flew it to the hole.
Yep.
Flew it pin high. Yeah.
Just really incredible. Should we talk about Scotty?
Which Scotty?
Ooh, that's the great point. The guy who,
Did you know that the Australian Scotty finished just one shot ahead of Rory McIlroy this week?
I did not.
That's crazy. That is crazy stat there.
We watched every single one of Adam Scott's golf shots today, and I don't think Rory McIlroy hit one shot while the leaders were on the golf course.
No, Rory was done early.
A shot apart.
79 for Adam Scott.
It's a lot of time.
I guess with Adam Scott, it just felt like it just came unwound so quickly because for a while there, his tee balls, he was picking that tee up
quickly
before the ball ended. Like multiple holes in a row. And then all of a sudden, it just completely came off the rails.
Let's see. Adam Scott. We got to go down a little ways. Rory finished T19, by the way, somehow.
No.
I mean, around the greens today, Adam Scott lost 2.46 shots. He lost 1.36 shots approach. He actually ended up losing one shot off the tee, which seems incredible because, like you said, it felt like he was striping it early.
If you look at the shot tracers, it really does. He didn't even give himself. It felt like he had more chances than what this is telling me he had. Like just flipping through the holes, you'd be like, "How did this guy ever have a chance today?" And at one point, he was a shot or two back.
Yeah, 1, 2 were good. 3 was bad. 4 was good. 5 was good. 7, that one might have actually ended up right in the rough. No, that stayed just short. Maybe I can't remember. But that was, that was online. So,
but it's not like there were chances.
Yeah. So 8, So 9. Now we've come out of the rain delay when they get to 9. Way right. 10, he hits the fairway.
But the 9, do you think it had something to do with Sam Burns going left on 9?
Could have. I mean, Sam Burns hit it into maybe the worst spot in the golf course, it looked like, on 9.
And then it almost looked like Adam was like, I'm hitting it anywhere but there coming out of this thing.
Yeah, when you see your playing partner hit it to just the worst spot in the course, you're like, just don't do that.
Right.
But yeah, 12 right, 14 right, 15 left, 17 right into the bunker, 18 right. So, I mean, he was just losing it right for the most part coming down the stretch. For a guy that was tipping out like 188 ball speed yesterday and just absolutely nuking balls at 44 years old.
Yep.
Stripe show.
Well,
how about, can we talk, well, you brought Rory up. How about Rory's club tosses and smashing of tee marker? So he had one absolutely incredible club toss off the bag that came back perfect.
Yep, caught it.
Amazing.
Might be the best club toss I've ever seen.
It's up there. The tee marker smash was incredible as well. Like, that wasn't like, oh, I'm just swinging my club and I've hit the tee marker. That was, I see the tee marker and the tee marker's going down.
I think not to tell you that you're wrong there, but it was almost like I'm aware of where this tee marker is before I'm doing it type of thing. Like, it's almost like he stood on the tee and was like, if this thing's not good, I know the exact distance I need to turn around to just whack the shit out of this thing. Like, it was fluid.
Yeah, it was quick too. Like, it wasn't like you like turned and looked. Like, it was just going.
Yeah.
Is he getting fined for that?
I'm sure he's going to get a letter in the mail.
Speaking about letters and fines, did anyone see what old Wyndham Clark did?
Yeah, I have some questions for you folks about what's his letter going to say.
Gosh, I would love to know. I would imagine there will be a bill attached to that letter to repair.
For sure. Do you think there's a chance that we do know?
No.
And by do know, do you think he'll be playing in next year's U.S. Open?
Yes.
Did you say, speaking of like the lockers, that when they redid the inside of the lockers, there was a certain design in them from when there was Prohibition, like where they used to hide the booze, and they rebuilt that into the new lockers just to keep the design the same way.
It's awesome.
Oh, that was
no respect from Wyndham.
Yeah, no. I did see a couple of Twitter like, oh, he needs to, be suspended from the U.S. Open for a year. Maybe other people should look at a suspension. I'm like, okay, like not ideal, but like let's back her down just a smidge.
So your Commissioner Walls, what's your fine? It's got to be substantial, right? Like, that's a bad destruction of property look.
I mean, 10's probably not enough, right?
Not enough.
10,000?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, that's not enough.
I was gonna say 50.
I mean, that's a lot.
Oh my God, I was thinking more than that.
There's no way it's more than 50. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. Like, that's the other thing. We have nothing to go on.
He did just smoke the T-Mobile thing last major championship also. Like,
that's why it would be so awesome to know, like, the suspensions and fines and stuff that the tour, like, hands out. Like, and also, like, who's doing, like, is the USGA going to fine them? Like, is the tour going to do it? Like, where's it coming from is, like, I think the whole other thing.
It wouldn't shock me that a place like Oakmont doesn't just send them a bill.
Oh, I would be almost positive that Oakmont puts a bill in the mail immediately.
Can they ban them? Can Oakmont just be like, you're not welcome back here?
I mean, I would
in 20 whatever it is.
I would have to guess that he's probably not getting too many trips to Oakmont on his schedule in the next couple of years. Like, if he calls him up and he's like, hey, I'm in the area, like, can I swing by? I have to imagine that call might be left on voicemail.
Well, I have to tell you, there's one person who thinks that there should be no repercussions, and that's my good buddy KP down at the Blue and Gray in town because Wyndham Clark stopped in for a bite on his way to the Truist a couple weeks ago. So Wyndham Clark is now B&G superfan Wyndham Clark, and he supports whatever Wyndham chooses to do and however he chooses to handle his issues. So
It's awesome. Yeah, we'll never know. I mean, there'll probably be something will probably leak. Like, oh yeah, Oakmont sent him a bill. I mean, all in all, it's not that much damage. I mean, I can't imagine the bill to fix it is that bad. I mean, I'm sure they'll jack it up and get it, and that might be kind of their Oakmont's kind of fuck you back. Like, oh, this was a $2,000 fix, and you're going to pay $8 for us or something like that, just to drive the knife a little bit. But
and if he's smart, he buys like a round of drinks or like he does something to try to win some people over there.
has he like come out and posted anything? Like, hey, I fucked up.
I don't think so.
I mean, that would have been what, Saturday? Gosh, I can't even type on my computer.
No, it would have been Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Sorry. Yeah, let's see. Wyndham Clark's Twitter here. Oh, nope, that was May 19th. That was his last apology. I would like to sincerely apologize for my behavior yesterday on hole 16. So yeah, nothing yet. Which is odd. If you feel like you'd want to get out ahead of that, get on top of it before it catches too much steam. So
One would think.
all right, let's talk Scotty Scheffler. He should have won this thing. He missed, 5 putts inside 5 feet?
And had 7 3-putts.
Was it 7 3-putts?
Throughout the week, yep.
9 straight rounds in the U.S. Open without getting one under par for Scott.
Well, that's right. Nothing under par at Pinehurst last year either. I've formulated a theory in my head about Scotty Scheffler that I'm going to workshop on you guys here. His wins are coming. I mean, there was a stretch where he was just winning, February to April. 3 majors, 2 Masters, and Quail Hollow, a place he's seen. Very kind of PGA Tour setup-y.
Yep.
Is that the formula for him? And like, when we stray away from it, is it going to be? Are we going to wonder a little bit? I mean, he played well at Valhalla at the PGA last year. Like, again, very PGA Tour-ish setup. Obviously, Officer Gillis had, some other things in mind for him that weekend. But the Masters, a place he sees every year and, like, has a good, good memories and good feel at.
It seems it.
And I mean, we get a lot of Scotty Tiger comparisons. I mean, obviously Tiger won at a multitude of different places, but like if you look at a large chunk of Tiger's wins, like he ate up certain spots. Now he obviously added, different, won the British Open a couple times and, different U.S. Opens, but like got one of his U.S. Opens at Torrey, a place he saw all the time too. Like, so like there is a little bit of that. Like, I'm not saying there's something wrong that like, hey, when the course fits your eye, you're going to eat it up. But like, is this like a question for next year at Shinnecock? Like, hey, this is going to be kind of the same thing. Like, it's not going to be set up like a regular tour event, and it's not a place like Augusta that you just see every year in and out.
Well, it seems like with him too, though, when he isn't hitting it his best, he can't lean on the putter. So, like, it was pretty evident that he didn't have his best. He was on the range after the one round with his coach, and they actually had like a pretty heated exchange. It looked like, but like he was missing left, but he can't lean on the putter to keep him where he needs to be in some of these bigger events if he's not just striping it.
He never lost shot. I take that back. He lost shots putting today, 0.65. In round 2, he actually gained 2.65. So for the tournament, he was plus 0.6 strokes gained putting, which, usually we're like, hey, if Scotty does that, he wins. Obviously, he struggled with the driver on day 1 and kind of put himself behind the 8 ball. Did he shoot 73 or 74 the first day?
Yeah, to me, it feels. It's funny that you bring up Tiger and all of Tiger's wins and whatnot, because I have felt like Scotty Scheffler's game is so well suited for all of the PGA Tour's hardest stops. Like Quail Hollow, he's PGA Tour or PGA Championship host this year. Like, he plays awesome, right? He goes to Jack's place, like Muirfield, notoriously one of the toughest places on tour to play. Like, he plays awesome. Like, I'm pretty sure he's done well at Bay Hill. Like, he's won the Players. Like, all of those places where it's not 26 under par winning the championship, he is always, always, always near the top of that leaderboard. So you would think that would then translate to the next level up, which is major championship, difficult golf courses. But it doesn't seem like it has translated when it's not been a PGA Championship Tour spot, and it hasn't been the Masters, which clearly he's figured out a way to work his way around Augusta, right?
By the way, though, he finished tied for 7th.
Like, that's the other thing, is like,
Correct.
you get to be Scotty Scheffler and you get graded on a little bit different of a curve, right? Like, we could sit here and knock him all day, but like, we would say what, he had his B game this week and he top 10'd it.
B seems generous for what I watched anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's the curse of being the best player in the world week in and week out, is that people start expecting things of you, and they're like, hey, you should, this, every setup feels like it's tailor-made for him. It's like, oh, he drives it well. Oh, he hits his irons really well. Oh, he chips it well around the green. And his only knock is that he's, an average putter, but I think he's like ranked like in the top 30 in putting on tour this year.
Does the lack of par fives at a thing like this play a role in that? Because it feels to me like in these PGA Tour setups, he just torches par fives because he doesn't have a weakness in his game from tee to green. So, okay, he misses the fairway on the PGA Tour. He pitches out to 109 yards and he zips a wedge to 5 feet.
Or he just bangs one up around the green and he can get it up and down.
Or he just bangs one up around the green. He's one of the best short game players on tour. He's got incredible hands. He can hit all the shots and he chips it to 4 feet. And here you've only got 2 of those chances, and you really only have 1 of those chances. If you miss the fairway, it's not a par 5 anymore, the way we think of par 5s, right? At Oakmont anyway. So,
yeah, it's a good question.
I don't know what did he do on par 5s this week? I'm looking it up now.
And by the way, he just came off winning Memorial too, which we all kind of thought was going to be a similar type of test. Not turned up to this level, but thick rough everywhere. Got to drive it well. Rough's going to be penalizing, and it's hard. And like you said, Waiter, like the guy finished T7. We're just trying to pick him apart here, left and right, which is it's weird, but it's kind of just the way it goes.
So he played the 8 par 5s, 3 under, 4 birdies, and a bogey. It looks like.
Yeah, that's what it was. I just looked at it too.
Yeah. Interesting. I got one we got to talk about. We got to talk about Mr. Waiter being the ultimate bingo machine out here.
Oof, man.
Bingo machine.
Wild.
Tristan Lawrence just got sent to the absolute grave by you. My guy was 6 under. What was that? Was that Saturday?
Yeah.
6 under, like halfway through his round Saturday. You call him out, and it just implodes from there.
He got the +1 real quick.
Very fast. Let me go back to his round on Saturday. He was through 6 holes, I think, when you said that. He goes,
Thirsty Lawrence.
Bogey, bogey, par, 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 birdie, par, bogey, par, birdie, bogey to finish at even par for the day. Or was it Friday that you did it to him?
Maybe it was Friday. Because he got to 6 under. It's whenever he got to 6
Friday, and he bogeyed 4 of his last 5, it appears.
Yeah. Or it could have been out front, maybe even. Nope, it's got to be, did he start out back on Friday?
Oh, that could
He
be.
started out back on Friday. It has to be because he came in after shooting 67 in the opening round, birdied 11, 12, and 13, gets it to 6.
That was
Bogey's 4 of the next 5, makes the turn, birdies 1, then goes bogey double before parring out the
Thanks
side.
for coming out.
That was it.
See you later.
Good example of why they should keep the asterisks up on those numbers.
Yes.
To let people know they started on the back
Yeah,
nine.
you're just kind of trying to figure it out as you go. I got a couple other things here. I did have this thought Saturday as I was watching. There's something magical about Saturdays at majors. Like, they usually tee off a little later because they're not worried about a playoff, so they push it right up to the edge. Like, leaders went off at 3:30. And you see this a lot in both of the opens because they push the leaders back a lot later on Saturday. There's not as much of a worry about time of day left. But the Saturday coming down the stretch, the tournament's really taken its shape. You're really getting an idea of what we're going to be in for on the final day. The sun setting, like, there's just kind of this like magical feel. Like, it feels like, Saturday back nine is like the first time the tournaments really matter. The shots really feel like they've got some like real weight to them all of a sudden. And when you get the setting sun, it just feels like just a magical thing. I don't know. I was watching. I was like, this is sick. Like, I love this. I love Saturdays of majors. Like, obviously Sundays are the best, but like, there's just something as like you're sneaking up to the edge of like when everything's about to like come to a conclusion, and you're like, well, we still get one more day of this tomorrow.
And it always feels like too, you get that like something happens really late in that round. Someone birdies 18, or someone makes a bad bogey coming in. That just gives you that little bit of setting the table for, the Sunday, right? Who's going to be in the final group? That was what it felt like this Saturday. Like, who's going to sneak in there, and who's going to be the two guys that are going to go last?
Yeah, who gets hot coming down the stretch to get within like 2 or 3? Who's got a chance and they kind of fall back out. I don't know. It's just something about it is always like really gets you tingling. You're like, I am so excited for tomorrow. And like, I really got that feeling yesterday when Sam Burns like hit that chip shot on 17, that like one hop skipped and stopped up by the to lead to birdie for him. It's like, oh, fuck, Sam Burns is going to be in the final group tomorrow. There's just something cool about that, I think.
Yeah.
Anything else, boys? I know it's been a little, discombobulated here with my technical difficulties here tonight. But anything else we should hit before we?
We didn't talk at all about Mr. Hovland, did we?
No, we didn't really.
He felt like, to me, and I could be so off on this, he just felt like he was I think he was like the most consistent player, where everything was like, he never had too many highs or lows. He was just kind of like, I don't know, stuck in the neutral, I guess, but was never, I don't know, he could never make the putt when he needed to, but he always saved the par on the flip side of it. I don't know. That's just what it felt like to me with him.
Yeah, he ended up making 5 bogeys today, which, again, not insane for the type of shit they were dealing with out there. Got off to a little bit of a weird start. I mean, got off to a weird start yesterday, too. Almost banged one out of bounds. But yeah, it doesn't feel... Like he said, like when he won the tournament he won earlier, she was like, I don't have it. This came out of nowhere. It feels like he's kind of battling something still. Like he's
still working.
Yeah. And if you hear...
You can tell he's tinkering.
And he seems to be a tinkerer. Like, that kind of seems to be the mold. I mean, he was, the second or third best player in the world a couple of years ago and changed short game coaches or something like that. After he went from he couldn't chip the ball at all to, like, being pretty adept at it, and then was like, I'm changing my coach.
Maybe I don't know what his short game numbers were this week, but maybe that speaks to something here. If everyone's going to be a bad chipper of the golf ball, because nobody's going to get it close because the lies are so brutal, it neutralized him being a bad chipper.
Plus 1.78 for the week around the green, like, pretty strong. Third.
It's pretty good.
Third around the greens for the week.
It's really good.
Today, plus 1.64. That was fifth today.
Maybe he got rid of the coach for the right reason.
Third on Saturday. Or no, that wouldn't have been Saturday. That was his rank. Saturday was 1.36. Like, that felt all right this week. Where was the biggest downfall? I mean, he's finished third. He didn't make any putts, apparently. He lost 0.37. And off the tee, he was negative for the week, just barely, minus 0.14.
Yeah, that's what he was grinding. He was grinding tee shots on the range till like 8:30 at night last night, right? Or something.
Yeah. So, interesting. Very interesting. Anyone else we need to shout out? I mean, Ben Griffin hung around. A guy, I think we kind of wondered if he was just going to be kind of eating up the B-level tour events, and that's why he was having its success. I mean, T10 at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he hung around. John Rahm, I think, did exactly what we might have pegged on this podcast last week, which is like a top 10 where I guess he was involved because of how quickly everyone was collapsing today. I'm not sure that he was actually ever involved. Really, I don't think anybody would have been sitting there at home with John Rahm being like, I think he's going to win. Everyone's going to implode.
There was a hot second where I was like, oh, maybe he might be. Like, we may be coming down the stretch.
But, yeah.
Yeah, what was John Rahm's day by day? 69, 75, 73, 67. So the middle days really got to him there.
I think we said T13.
Yeah, I think somebody said around, but never really around, or something along those lines was kind of the general consensus.
We got that one right. We didn't get a lot right this week.
No.
We got that one.
Brooks Koepka comes out, 68, first day. Second day, shows up to the course, just completely checks out a group of chicks' asses. Like, just incredible Brooks Koepka moment there. And then he just kind of disappears. 74, 73, 71. It felt like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, Jesus, it's a hard U.S. Open, and here comes Brooks Koepka out of nowhere again. And then he kind of retreated back. Chris Kirk, who I don't think I saw hit a single golf shot all weekend, finished T12. Yeah.
Him and Bezadenhout finished tied with Adam Scott. We saw every one of Adam Scott's shots for the right reasons. We didn't see any. They went home with the same check.
I don't think we saw any of... Did we see any Rasmus Niergaard Peterson today?
No, not today. Not that I remember anyway.
I mean, he shot 69, so he would have been out a little earlier. Oh, no, sorry. He shot 74. So, no, he would have been out with and around the leaders, but never saw him. I mean, I almost texted the group, honestly, that JJ Spaun's about to get the JJ Spaun holes out on 18 coverage treatment here for a second until he started writing the ship there. That's always my favorite. Yep. You see a guy tee off on like 9, and there's like, oh, finishing up on 18 now.
Yeah, tough back 9.
They flash the scorecard, and it's just like 6 bogeys.
So I think it was the guy who ended up finishing last who made the cut. How about Barbari?
Mm-hmm.
Barbari, is that guy's name? He had to come back out Saturday morning to just hit the putt to make the cut. Bury it right in the center. Good for that guy.
His wife was caddying for him, I believe.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, and then he, finishing up today, he, found a Pirates jersey. He, got a Pirates jersey printed with his name on it and, wore that coming up the 18th. That was pretty cool.
Okay, I didn't see that. That's cool.
That's cool.
Where'd Jordan Spieth end up finishing? Here he is. T23 with your boy Patrick Reed, Slano. Patrick Reed, Tross this weekend.
Yeah.
He had a Tross and ended up shooting 73 that day.
It's not great.
No, I lied.
That is not great.
That was round 4, yeah. I think he did that in round 1, right? Yeah. Yeah, Albatross. 73. He had the Albatross and he had a triple bogey on 18, I believe, to finish this round. So He was bailing water shortly after the draw.
Interesting.
Let me double check my my notes here, and then I can see my notes. Here's another question I had. I think we're in a different era of professional golf. I'm going to call it the ball speed era. Everybody's very interested in ball speed, swing speed. We're going to hit the ball long. When did this kick off? Because, if we go back to 2016 when DJ won here, it felt like DJ was still, far and away one of the longer players on tour. And then, when he married that up with, I'm going to hit cuts, and I'm going to, on top of being one of the longest players on tour, I'm going to be one of the straighter players on tour. And nobody's going to be able to deal with that because if you're long, you're crooked. And if you're straight, you're short. And something changed in between that U.S. Open and this U.S. Open. And maybe it was going on more than too, and it's just kind of like revisionist history to be like, oh, DJ was one of the only guys doing that. But
I think it was Bryson.
Bryson?
Right? I think he made it the thing, and I think everybody kind of scoffed at it at first. Rory was kind of doing it. Rory was behind DJ, right? In the I hit it far, but DJ was further, I think. And then Bryson wasn't doing it, and then Bryson rattled off a couple in a row, it felt like, and people were like, oh, maybe he's onto something and figured something out.
Won that U.S. Open at Wingfoot, just I'm going to bomb it up there. He's like, if the fairways are short, if the fairways are tight everywhere, I'll just hit it up closer to the hole. So that was 2020 U.S. Open, right?
Sounds right.
Yeah, that's probably a good spot for it because it feels like the game is a completely different game than even 10 years ago.
I mean, you mentioned Ben Griffin. He's done it.
He's doing the same thing.
Right? He's put 8 or 12 yards on his ball and has changed his career.
Yeah. Technology, boys.
Well, when's the rollback supposed to happen? 3 years?
2027, I think, is when the manufacturers are supposed to have their stuff figured out.
And that's just the ball, right? They're not doing anything to driver heads?
Correct. As far as I know, Mike Wan actually gave a really good answer in the pre-tournament presser about why they have to roll the ball back. And it has nothing to do with actually making the golf ball go shorter. It has everything to do with prevent it from continuing to go further and faster moving forward.
Yeah, because he said, in 10 years, even with rollback, he's like, we're going to be right back here.
Yes, correct. And he said basically it became an economics thing. Golf courses can't grow. The game's going to continue to take too long to play. It's going to be too expensive to maintain the courses. All of that's right.
We're going back to the U.S. Open at Pebble here in a couple years.
They're going to torch that place. Torch that place.
Unless the wind is blowing 100 miles an hour, they're going to be 15 under par. Easy.
Yep. Torch it.
Oakmont had some of the most ridiculous rough you've ever seen. And that's in some of the worst conditions. It's that you got to do that and have the craziest greens in America just to keep these guys in check. And most courses aren't going to be able to pull that off.
Correct.
I got another hot take, and I know Oakmont removed all the trees, and I got no problem with it. But maybe put some trees in these guys' way so that they can't just start the ball wherever they want and let it move 30 yards one direction or the other. And they actually have to hit some shots.
Off the tees. Just make the shoot off the tee. Tight.
Yeah.
So they can't start it, like you said, 30 yards left and just work it back. Force them into a tight window.
I think they kind of did that this week with the way the golf course was set up, with how firm the fairways were to begin with and how thick the rough was, and I think it kind of worked. To be honest, I thought the first 2 rounds were fine. I think it became an entire different golf course once the weather rolled in. It seemed anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe trees do some of that. I think I'd love to see which PGA Tour setups could learn a little bit of something from the U.S. Open, but I deep down, I just don't think the PGA Tour actually wants difficult golf courses. I think they like birdie fests. I think the players like birdie fest. It's more fun. There's not bad shots going viral. There's hole outs and hole in ones and balls being stuffed and spun back to nothing and 26 under, and these guys are so good. And
yeah, I mean, it's good for the PGA Tour brand. Like, oh, look how good these guys are. Like, come see how awesome the shots they hit are.
That's a way better model than these guys are. These courses are really, really hard. Wait till you try to play them. Like, you wouldn't shoot 90, right? Like,
yeah, it's a tough sell. And, like, look, I enjoyed the hell out of this U.S. Open. But, like, if this was every week, and it's just like guys just struggling to get around, like, I don't think it sells well.
No. It was very boring at times to watch. Like, oh, he missed the fairway. He's probably going to make bogey, right? Well, if he makes par when he probably makes bogey, it just feels like a birdie, right? It's just less cool, right? Like, he's now playing 125-yard par 3 because he had to pitch out, right? Like, it's not fun, but it's a challenge, right? Like, for a week, that's fine. If we had the one year that Jack's place was really hard because the place just got so firm, like, that was kind of cool because the week before it was probably 24 under, right?
And, like, the year Augusta got, like, that was, like, what, 2 years ago? Augusta got baked out Saturday.
Yeah. Like, that's cool at random times.
Yeah, like I said, there were stretches of Saturday, of early today, where it's like, okay, like, there's nothing great happening. Like, it took kind of the rain delay, everybody getting bunched up, and, like, the last 6-7 holes were awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, I wouldn't trade those for anything, and hey, if these guys got to go get tested once a year, cool, I'm in. But, I mean, if you're just trying to convince me to sit down every week and it's not Oakmont and it's not the U.S. Open and it's, you know, they're all of a sudden they're playing Colonial and it's a random Sunday afternoon and I could be outside doing something else or I could watch guys chip out sideways all day, it's a tough sell.
Right.
It's a tough sell. Anything else, gentlemen? I think we've been going a while. God knows what I'm going to have to do to get this thing edited and put together correctly, so.
Oh, yeah. That was great to be on.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the Open in a couple weeks and seeing your season low in person in a couple days.
It's not going to happen, but I just want to say thank you guys for being here. In the words of Amanda Balionis, you didn't have to do this, but you did anyway. That's a direct shot at Mr. Appley. But yeah, thanks, boys. Appreciate it. We'll be back for the British. Maybe. I'm betting you guys will be back. Who knows if we'll see Eric again? Maybe he'll still be. I mean, Rory went 2 majors without talking to the media. Maybe that's Bucky's plan too. So we'll see. Well, gents, thanks for coming.
All right, I got to run.
Later, fellas.
See you, friends.
Closing time, everybody. Once again, thank you guys so much. Thanks to Waiter and Slano. I appreciate them for coming on. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I appreciate all the support. So thank you. Back next week, recapping everything in the world of golf throughout the Travelers. We'll catch up with the NBA and NHL finals. I know we didn't do anything else tonight. Had enough kind of technical difficulties throughout this that we had some a good amount of time with Waiter and Slano, so we're just going to keep rolling with that. Don't forget to check out my guy MJ over at the 4-Range Podcast on Spotify, and you can find him on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel as well. Till next week, peace.